Dear Talmidim, it is tremendous kavod gadol for us. Big honor that we have the Rosh Yeshiva here, Rav Elya Brudny, Shlita. I want you to know the Rav is so busy. I really want you to know the Rav does not have, the Rosh Yeshiva doesn't have a free minute to be able to give from his time. And we worked on this for a very long time. Rabbi Hillman, Hashem should bless him. We worked on this for a long time, and Baruch Hashem, we're zocheh for this moment that the Yeshiva came to us, and he gave us the time, precious time before Pesach. There's a lot going on. Even before the Yeshiva stepped out of the car, he was on a phone call. Every second is doing mitzvot, and every second is busy with Klal Yisrael. And yet, Baruch Hashem, the Yeshiva gave us the time to come and speak to the boys, to give the Chizuk. I want to give a chance, an opportunity for the Yeshiva, Rav Elya Brudny, to speak to the boys and give them the divrei chizuk.
I want to ask a question. We all understand that we're celebrating on Pesach the fact that we're free people. That we have what's called Yom Chag HaMatzot Hazeh, Zman Cheiruteinu, the time of our freedom, that we were freed from the Egyptians. Long time ago, over 3,000 years, and we're celebrating that. Now, in the United States of America, for instance, there might be 350 million people that live in the United States of America. There's probably not more than 15 million or 12 million Jewish people, of which, unfortunately, maybe 1 million are shomer mitzvot. It's terrible. But maybe 1 million Jewish people in America keep mitzvot, keep Shabbat, keep the Chag, go to yeshiva, stuff like that. That's a 349 million people in this country don't have mitzvot, and 1 million have mitzvot. And we're celebrating freedom. Do the Goyim have freedom? Listen to my, don't answer before you think. The average person that's not religious and not shomer mitzvah and doesn't learn in a yeshiva, and doesn't know anything about Torah, are they free people, or are they really not free? They're in a bondage. You know what a bondage means? What does a bondage mean? They have a boss over them who's controlling them. They're being controlled. You know, you ever heard the kids fight with their parents? Don't control me. You know, all that stuff. The Goyim have this big thing about control. You can't tell me what to do. So the average Goy, nobody tells him what to do, and he does only what he wants to do, really. Or a Goy has a boss over him, ruling him and bossing him around and pushing him around and getting him into trouble every single day. Let me hear somebody with I understand this is 8th graders, 7th graders. These are the smartest boys in the school. So I want to hear if you ever had answer to my question. Is that a good question, Rebbe? Huh?
It's good.
What's the answer? Who's this Yetzer Hara guy? What does he look like? Huh? But he's the guy that whispers in your ear and tells you to do this Aveirah, that Aveirah, not to do this mitzvah, not to do the other mitzvah, and he keeps on whispering in your ear and you follow him like a dummy. That's the Goy, Nebuch. He follows the guy around 24/7 and he does only what the guy tells him in his ear. Hey, now it's time to go to the movies. Good, fine. Now we'll do this. Fine. Now we're going to watch more TV. Fine. Now we're going to give a slug some person. Why not? It's fun. We're going to mug somebody. That's also fun. And I'll get arrested. Okay, so I'll get arrested. What could I do? But I can't control myself. My Yetzer Hara told me to do it. My Yetzer Hara told me to do it. Why don't we listen to the Yetzer Hara like a bunch of dummies? At least we try to tell the guy, not with me. Go find a different customer. What gives us that strength? What gives us that power that we could say no to the Yetzer Hara?
Because we have the two reasons. Because you are supposed to look like Goy does not have a goal. In life he thinks after he works for 30 years, whenever he turns 30 years old, he relaxes with all the money that he has. But for us, the goal never ends. We could always reach higher and higher. And also, we also have another angel, the Yetzer Hara, which also tells us, but you only get at your bar mitzvah.
Excellent. Well, what's the biggest gift we have that gives us power?
The Torah.
So it says in the Pasuk, in Pashat Ketisa, that when Hashem gave Moshe the Luchot, and he inscribed the Luchot, the word that the Torah uses is Charut ala Luchot. That it was inscribed in the Luchot. The Luchot were miraculous. They were made out of stone, and they carved out the letters in the work, and even though they carved it from one side, it looked the same way on the other side. It was a tremendous miracle. But the Torah uses the word Charut. So Rashi, I think, but it's a Gemara, that the word Charut could be pronounced Charut, but it could also be pronounced Cherut, freedom. Like we say, Zman Cherutenu. And they say, the rabbis say the expression, Ein lecha ben chorin. There are no free people except Misha Osek Batorah. Someone who learns Torah every day, someone who teaches himself to know how to learn Torah. Because if you don't know how to learn Torah, it's very difficult to learn Torah. But when you go to yeshiva like Shari Tzion, and you have these amazing rabbis that teach you how to learn Torah, they teach you how to figure out a Gemara, they teach you how to read a Rashi, they teach you all these complex things, so you're ready for life. You're ready when you become bar mitzvah and older, and you go on in life, you know how to learn Torah. If a person knows how to learn Torah, he has the strongest weapon against his Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Tov is really a little guy, a tzaddik. And in order for him to give you that power, and the rabbis have a phenomenal expression, Im paga bach menuval zeh, this disgusting creature called the Yetzer Hara, if he's trying to start up with you, what can I do? The Yetzer Hara comes in and he attacks me. Big deal, you'll use a smartphone one time. What's going to be? Mom has a smartphone, give a peek. Give a look, there's a world out there, you got to see it. What do I do? How do I tell the guy to go fly a kite? Mashcheyu lebeit midrash. Tell him, buddy, I'll listen to you later. Let's first sit down. Let me go take out a Gemara. And let me spend an hour learning Gemara. Come back to me in an hour after I learn Gemara. The guy won't even show up. A bacher that learned an hour of Gemara, he's going to go tell him to go use an inappropriate vision on a smartphone? Me you're starting up with? You have billions and trillions of goyim. Go start up with them. What do you want from me? Remember this Gemara. Im paga bach minuval zeh. This bad, wicked minuval who tries to mess you up comes to start inciting you to do, enticing and inciting you to do inappropriate stuff. Mashcheyu lebeit midrash. Take him to the Gemara. Take him to learn Torah. And then you're a ben chorin. Ein lecha ben chorin ela mi sheosek batorah. Chag kasher v'sameach. It's a pleasure spending time with such amazing young men.
It's a pleasure to have the Rosh Yeshiva here.
This is big.
Rosh Yeshiva, we need the Rosh Yeshiva to come here more often.
Okay, we'll negotiate. I want to add one little thing. We learn Torah from rabbis. Each class has its rabbi. These rabbis, where did they learn their Torah? From other rabbis. Where did those rabbis learn Torah?
Other
And this goes back generation. Who was the first rabbi? Moshe Rabbeinu. And we're going to start Ashkenazim. I don't know if Sfardim do that. We do after Pesach. We read every week Pirkei Avot. Sfardim do it too.
Yeah.
Even though it's a Ramon. I don't, yeah, but
Yeah.
Took the book Testament.
So Pirkei Avot begins. Moshe kibel Torah misinai, u'masara liYehoshua, Yehoshua l'Zkenim, Zkenim l'Nevim, and that's how it's been going down throughout the generations. You know how lucky you are. Your rabbi that teaches you Gemara, it's not him. He's really in a chain of rabbis all the way to Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's amazing. You have to appreciate that. The Goyim make it up and change all the wisdom. What they think this year, today they believe in once shtuyot. 10 years ago, they believed the opposite. 30 years ago. When you talk to somebody like me, I'm a little bit older. I grew up in the 40s. I was born in the 40s, and I grew up in the 50s. All the way back. Today, you go to a Goy of 1950 and tell him some of the stuff that Goyim believe today. He says, "Yeah, come on. This may be in Bronx Zoo. That's what they think. But regular people that wear jackets and pants, they believe in these kind of things." But by the Goyim, it keeps on changing. We have the same Torah. I just was thinking when you guys were singing V'isha Amda. Do you know how many generations Jews are singing V'isha Amda? Thousands of years. And it's how many different countries we come from. Your grandparents come from Uzbekistan on the other side of the world. And some people come from there. And some people come from there. Some people come from North Africa. Some people come from Europe. Some people come from Ukraine. Some people come from this. It's Germany. Jews are up. And everybody sings the same V'isha Amda. It's incredible. The Agadah is the same Agadah. A tweak here and a tweak there. The Rambam already brings in his book exactly the formula of the Agadah. Most of the Agadah comes from the Mishnayot. You know how many years already since the Mishnayot was since Rabbeinu HaKadosh authored the Mishnah? It's in the Mishnah. The Agadah is in the Mishnah. And the Gemara speaks thousands and thousands of years that all Jewish people are doing the same thing every night, every year, Pesach night. Everybody's dipping celery in the salt water. They've been doing that already for over 2,000 years, 2,500 years, 3,000 years. This is how people do it. Matzah. Same matzah, the exact same matzah. That has to be done under 18 minutes. Just flour and water. You got to get it out, get it in, eat it. Some matzot look like this, some matzot feel like that, but it's all the same matzah. Thousands of years. The endless truth of Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu got the Torah, and that's it. That's it. Ashreinu matov chalkeinu, how fortunate we are that we are chosen from all the billions of people in the world. We were chosen to be learning Torah. And you know what? We say it in the Amidah. You're going to say it's Friday night in the Amidah. Ata b'chatanu mikol ha'amim. Ahavta otanu v'ratzita banu. Romamtanu mikol ha'leshonot. There's a million languages in the world, but we're the highest, the holiest. V'kiddashtanu b'mitzvotecha. V'keravtanu malkeinu l'avodatecha. And the greatest thing of all, v'shimcha Agadol ve'akadosh aleinu karata. We're his people. We're banim atem l'Hashem Elokeichem. And it says in the Torah, Beni Bechori Yisrael, the Jewish people are HaKadosh Baruch Hu's favorites. We're his firstborn. He created the world for us, that we should make a Kiddush Hashem. And if you go to yeshiva and you listen to your rabbis and you take it serious, you're doing Kiddush Hashem. It's a pleasure.
Amen.